So now let's look at Tucker Carlson's show from last night. Understand the signal boosting of these right-wing conspiracy theories. For months, Tucker has been saying on his show, without evidence, the FBI did the Trump riots. He's just been repeating that. He eventually gets on this idea of Ray Epps. Ray Epps, the Oath Keepers militia guy, is a Fed or a confidential informant, which is a completely different thing. Ted Cruz gets sucked into it because Ted Cruz says the wrong thing about the January 6th rioters being terrorists, and he has to go on Tucker's show and apologize. At which point, Tucker starts talking to him about Ray Epps. Then Ted Cruz does his good deed of the day and talks about Ray Epps during a Senate hearing yesterday. And then we go to last night on Tucker Carlson's show, where Tucker then signal boosts it even more. Here is Tucker Carlson continuing the Ray Epps conspiracy theory.
And while we're at it, here's something else that's confusing. Epps is a longtime right-wing activist. As you know, he urged protesters to riot.
True.
Video from January 6th shows him at the forefront, right in front of the Capitol, appearing to usher others inside. So he wasn't just someone who was there. He was maybe the central figure there.
He was not the central figure. He obviously was not the central figure. And only if you believe that does any of the rest of this even make sense. If you listen to this critically, you go, wait, Ray Epps was a central figure. It's not clear Ray Epps actually committed any crimes at the Capitol.
And yet Democrats, for reasons that aren't at all clear, suddenly seem highly protective of Ray Epps. They don't want you to criticize him. Adam Kinzinger described Ray Epps today as, quote, nothing but a January 6th protest attendee.
And remember, he says Democrats don't want you talking about him, but Adam Kinzinger is a Republican.
Really? Nothing but an attendee? He is, of course, the opposite of that. Of everyone there, Ray Epps is the one you should be maddest at if you're the Democratic Party.
What about Trump?
And yet they're telling you he was an attendee, not an insurrectionist, not a terrorist, just an attendee. Another engaged American exercising his constitutional rights.
Now, by the way, I haven't found any Democrats saying that. Ray Epps is a, disgusting right-wing dude who was there the day before talking about going into the Capitol. But I'm not calling him, I'm not saying anything positive about him other than the argument that he's a Fed is not based in any fact.
That's a huge change. It's bizarre. It doesn't make any sense at all. So what's going on here?
Yeah.
Something is, that's for sure. And one last question. The committee has assured us that Ray Epps wasn't, quote, employed by, working with, or acting at the direction of any law enforcement agency. Okay. But why did the committee stop there? Would the committee be willing to broaden that statement and affirm in writing that Ray Epps wasn't working with any government agency, law enforcement or otherwise?
That's a very typical conspiracist thing also, which is no matter what information you eventually get from people, you say it's not comprehensive enough, it's not full enough. They will never be satisfied with it. And Tucker continued this. I mean, it's like a lot of Ray Epps stuff on his show. It's wild.
In other words, they really expect you to believe that. Quote, I simply don't have any information at all on that individual. So the DOJ knows nothing about Ray Epps, the guy on the most wanted list, right?
Now, that's also not true. We have a combination of statements, including that he is not working for the FBI. And when Ted Cruz asked some of his questions, the answers were, I can't speak about individuals in this way. And that would be the answer no matter who the individual was.
That's absurdly false. And as if to underscore how absurdly false it is, within a short time, Democrats in the January 6th committee released a statement claiming that actually they'd already interviewed Ray Epps, and anyone who still has questions about his behavior on January 5th or 6th is a dangerous conspiracy theorist. Quote, Mr. Epps informed us, the committee said in a statement today, that he was not working with, employed by, or acting at the direction of any law enforcement agency on January 5th or 6th or at any other time, and that he has never been an informant for the FBI or any other law enforcement agency, end quote. Wow. Bombshell. Looks like case closed. We can forget about Ray Epps.
So then, of course, here it's when the denial is not a good enough denial. So these are indefeasible arguments from Tucker. You can, and which is common of conspiracy theorists. There is nothing you can present because evidence in favor is evidence in favor. And evidence or statements against are also evidence in favor, either due to their alleged incompleteness or specificity, or whatever the case may be. So my instinct is that these people will never be satisfied with the Ray Epps thing, but look at the way that Tucker was able to use Ted Cruz to talk about this on national television during a Senate hearing. It's incredible stuff. Science has shown us that lowering your body temperature at night helps you sleep. I can't sleep in a hot room. That's why I love our sponsor, Chili Sleep, which makes customizable climate-controlled sleep solutions to sleep better. Their flagship products are the Uller sleep system and the Cube sleep system, which is what I have. Both are hydro-powered, temperature-controlled luxury mattress pads. You can make them as cold as 55 degrees Fahrenheit. If you wanted, you could go as hot as 115 degrees. I like the cooler option. I keep mine at 60 degrees, and it gives me a great cool night of sleep. No feeling hot, no more sweating. I'm falling asleep faster, and it pairs perfectly with Chili Sleep's weighted Chili Blanket, which keeps you cold on top, too. Right now, Chili Sleep is running a special sale. You'll get 30% off everything when you go to chilisleep.com/Pacman. The link is right underneath this video.